starting the video a bit differently today. We're already in the in the video and a server. We're playing Hypixel Parkour. My favorite parts of this game is honestly just like walking around and talking with friends. So I was like, what part of that can I make interesting into a video? And I was like, oh, parkour sounds fun. Also, like, I realized I'm really bad at Minecraft. I thought I was better than I actually am, but maybe I'm bad at talking and playing Minecraft. That's probably what I'm more bad at. But anyways, uh, yeah, realizing that you're bad at Minecraft hurts, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. Um, I had this in like I had this realization in, I don't know, 2 years ago when I realized like I'm bad at every single game except for Minecraft. And because I was good at Minecraft, I was like, dude, I'm good at video games. Like, I could beat anyone with some time. Like, and then I realized I'm just bad at I'm just good at Minecraft. I'm not good at games. I'm good at Minecraft. And now I'm realizing I'm not even good at Minecraft. But yeah, I guess on the topic of realization, the thing I wanted to talk about was my time in South Carolina, and I guess my whole tennis portion of my life, which is, I mean, it's pretty large in how much of my life has been changed by tennis and where I am in life right now. So I started playing tennis around seventh grade, but actually earlier than that. I started playing as a kid, like 8 years old, with like uh, you know, private lessons from like your local high school student, through your mom's friend who's looking to make money. Um, that's how I started playing Minecraft. Not Minecraft. Started playing tennis, and I honestly didn't like it the first time. But then in seventh grade, I hated swimming. I like despise swimming. Most people that swam high school understand. It's so miserable. I was honestly like pretty good at it, but like it was so annoying. Like I did everything possible to skip my club practices, but um, I asked my dad to like switch me out of swimming and into tennis, and my dad didn't trust that I'd stick to tennis, which is fair because I quit most of all my sports. I played like 8 sports. I'm not even exaggerating. It's probably 8, and I quit all of them. But I promised that I'd play tennis, stick to tennis, and then he finally let me. And in 8th grade, I started getting lessons, and then I joined the high school team, and I fell in love with it. It's it's such it's very rage bait of a sport, but I think the lessons I learned from it would match nothing else in my life in learning about myself as a person, especially through like during a time in high school when like your mind is developing the most probably. And I think tennis is a good facilitator of growth for a kid. Uh, but I loved it. And then, to be frank with you, I was never the best. Even in high school, like I was never the best. And but that was, you know, I believe that I cared for it the most. And there's this part of my brain that was like, if I care for it the most, have the most passion for it, work the hardest, then it'd work out. And I had the dream of winning the U.S. Open, and I honestly don't care about world number one. Um, I think it's just a number. But I think winning the U.S. Open was like the big. I thought it'd be so it's like what I lived for at that moment in time, and I pushed for everything. I pushed everything to get to that position, and I failed. Yeah, I failed pretty miserably. Like, people go like, the saying is, shoot for the stars, land on the moon. You at least got to the moon, you know? Honestly, I'm not trying to be hard on myself. This is just like, being realistic. I shot for the stars, missed the moon, and landed in a tree in my backyard. Like, that's honestly how far I got with this sport. Um, uh, I've talked about how I went to South Carolina, and that part was after high school year. I wanted to train in a gap year to go and play college tennis or walk on to a college team, uh, locally, D1. But so I thought I had to go train at an academy, which I still think is probably the fastest way to get better, um, for the average person with zero connections, in the tennis world at least. And I knew the gap was humongous, but as I've said, like the belief of working hard, being passionate about something, carrying it for the most will get me, where I want to get to. Uh, it's, I think, ignorance and probably a childishness. I don't know if that's a word, but you know, uh, like I want to be an astronaut type of, ignorance that I think I had, and personally I believe is actually good for you, and because you still work insanely hard for something, even if like people tell you it's impossible, or you see the distance between the next person so wide, but you still work hard for it. I think that like creates really respectable people. Unfortunately though, like I said, I failed. I failed pretty badly. Um, and when I decided not to stay for the second half of the academy, because I only paid for half, uh, with the idea of maybe extending it to another year, to another semester of the academy, when I decided that it wasn't worthwhile for one, finance, and my time to keep pursuing it, at first, honestly, the feelings were pretty relieved. I felt like a weight came off my shoulder, and there's, my opinion, a sunk cost fallacy that I felt, where I put in so much time and effort, therefore I should be able to get results. So anytime now, I'll get results. But it's I want to put into perspective how big and wide the gap was. So I was 18. Yeah. And so a lot of coaches don't really care for my progression because 18 is pretty much you're done. It's kind of sad, but like realistic for coaches especially, because they need to, they want to develop players that they have time with, and they know that I'm pretty old on that line. And there were, I want to say, 40 students there. And with the 40 students, Every single one of them probably played 4.5 hours of tennis every single day for at least more than 4 years. Every single day. Uh, some even starting from like 6 years old. And they probably poured in hundreds of thousands of dollars into the sport. Actually, hundreds of thousands. And it's kind of crazy, but one of them, one of them, you will probably see on TV. And that one person, I'm calling it now, Isha. She's like 12, but sometime in the future, I believe you'll see her name on TV. This thing is bugging out. Yeah. Anyways, the one person, it's a one person out of 40 who put that much time and effort into the sport. It's just the sad reality of professional sports. And that realization, pushed me to see the gap and decide that I'm not willing to put in the time, effort, or money. One, that isn't even mine, and two, during a time when like you need to like grow as a person. Like, 18 is pretty important. You're before college. You need to like live a life. But that's the realization I hit. And again, I said I got a relief the first time. I decided, I was like, maybe this is not for me. And then there's a part of the story that I won't go into for this video. But there was a hole in that tennis left that I didn't realize until I left. And the hole really hurt. The hole really hurt. It hurt to feel like I failed in something, like that meant something to me, but also failing in so badly where I felt like I had nothing to prove or like say for myself. Like, oh, at least I got here. No, there wasn't really a saving grace in my opinion. This isn't like meant to be a sob story as well. I want to say that because my life is pretty fine. To be able to even play tennis at this level for so long with the finances, especially of this sport, it's kind of, I'm very lucky with my parents and everything, and like very grateful for that. But it doesn't change the fact the way I feel and how I felt, like pretty bad, and I still do feel pretty bad. I still feel empty in like the part that tennis had for me. It was like a motivation to work like every single day and wake up and like push myself, and I kind of lost that with what I have now. Now I'm trying to find, like, very cliche, but it's cliche because everyone goes through it, I guess. Like, the meaning of life and like what I'm doing things for. And I'm probably lucky in finding that question now instead of maybe 5 years from now, when if I kept going for tennis, and then, or even if I did reach my goal of, you know, playing tennis. And what if I actually did make it? That doesn't change anything because tennis isn't your life. At least it shouldn't be. And but these are all what ifs, you know? Like, these are the things I tell myself, but like, you'd never know what would happen. What if I just, enjoyed life, being at the top? I daydream about it a lot. It's like kind of embarrassing, but it's just what I think about a lot. Yeah. There's not really a conclusion to the story because I'm still in the story. It hasn't been that many weeks since I stopped going to the academy and moved back. It's definitely waves of this feeling. It's like a different type of hurt that I have, rather than like losing someone, because I think losing someone is just like grief. I think losing your belief in a pattern of how you live your life is very different from losing someone. Maybe. Who knows? But that's what I think for now. But it's a very active story. So, I'll probably learn something different a couple days from now. Or feel differently a couple days from now. Or maybe years from now. But yeah, it hurts a pretty decent amount. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm like pushing myself to do things, and I think I'm pretty on track in life from the outside. It kind of sounds like I'm saying like, oh, life is good, because I'm trying to. I don't want it to sound like my life is good, but like it isn't type situation. I don't know how to explain it. Like, there are more people in this life, many more, with so many more, like, so much worse problems than realizing that professional tennis won't work out for you. But this is just how I feel right now, and in my very short time on this earth so far, this is the biggest thing. So for me, this is everything right now.